Hey you guys, it's Camilla here. Today I'm going to perform Mick Harte Was Here by Barbara Park. This is my dramatic interpretation for my speech team. So I guess I'll start. So this isn't the kind of story where you meet the main character and you get to really like him and then he dies at the end. I hate those kind of stories. I just want to tell you about Mick. But I thought you should know right up front that he's not here anymore. I just thought that would be fair. In the wake of her brother's tragic death, Phoebe combats sorrow, anger, guilt, and the fear that her family will never return to a functioning way of life. At first, no one in her home can even speak her brother's name aloud. But as the seeds of healing slowly start to take root, Phoebe realizes that the only way to honor Mick's memory is to share his story with others. Mick Harte Was Here by Barbara Park. I'm only 10 months older than he was. I was planned. Mick was a surprise. He loved it too, being a surprise, I mean. He was always teasing my parents about it, telling them that even before he existed, he could outsmart 2 chemistry majors with birth control pills. Our first big caper we pulled together was right after Mick started kindergarten. We scratched the letters F-A-R-T in a new driveway just poured next to our house. We didn't do it to be bad. The cement just sort of called to us, I guess you could say. Without a doubt, that was absolutely the most funniest thing that anybody had ever done in the history of the universe. It's amazing to see how a little fart in the driveway can totally lose its humor when your father sees it. When he and Mom stood us in front of them and made us solemnly swear to tell the complete and honest truth, Mick took a big step forward and told them a monkey did it. Then, just to make the story even more believable, Mick told them that the monkey's name was Zippy, and that the two of us had saved the day by chasing him all the way back to Africa. I heard that when people you love die, you forget their voices. But I haven't forgot Mick's. Not yet, anyway. I have a weird kind of memory. Like, I can never remember my parents' anniversary, but I can still remember the exact conversation I had with Santa Claus when I was in kindergarten. He said, "Ho, ho, ho," and I said, "Your breath smells," and he said, "Get down." It wasn't much of a chat. But the point is, it happened 8 years ago, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. That's why it doesn't surprise me that I can still remember everything about that morning 4 weeks ago. The day of the accident. Mick came running up behind me as I was walking out of the cafeteria, and he asked me to do him a favor. He said, "Hey Phoebe, I need to ride my bike home from school today. Dylan's mom is taking a bunch of us to his house. Sorry, I got soccer practice after school, plus I've got a ton of books to carry home tonight." Great. Now I have to ride there all by myself, and I don't even know where the kid lives. I'm gonna look like such a doofus. Looking like a doofus was pretty important to my brother. That's why he'd always refused to wear his helmet. And I said, you'll be fine, doofus. Then I just walked away. I didn't even say goodbye. I was running sprints at soccer practice when I heard the siren. The ambulance is coming closer to the soccer field, but instead of speeding past it, slows and turns the corner. Then, all of a sudden, the door of the gym flies open, and one of the school secretaries comes rushing out. The old one, only she's moving pretty fast. A few seconds later, Coach Brody is running full speed in my direction. "Phoebe, honey, it's Mick." Thinking back, I'm not exactly clear what happened after that. It's sort of like the film in my mind speeds up, and there's just a blur of people walking me to the office. The only thing that I really do remember is the feeling that none of it was really happening. Mrs. Santos, our neighbor, gave me a ride to her house, and that's when I saw it. The truck, I mean, and Mick's bike, still lying in the gutter where he had fallen. I remember making an awful noise that didn't sound like me at all, but like one of those old women you hear on the news sometimes. One of those old women crying at the scene of some terrible natural disaster. So I closed my eyes, and I did the only thing I could. I prayed to God it had been a terrible mistake and Mick hadn't been the one writing it. I'm sorry for that, I swear I am, but that was my prayer. It was after 7 when I finally heard the doorbell. I ran into the living room just as my father was coming inside. "How's Mick? Is he gonna be okay, Pop? Is he gonna be alright?" He didn't answer. Instead, he sort of just wrapped his arms around me and pulled me close. Then he sort of cradled my head in such a fragile way like I could break. Then, in a voice so faint and so soft, he whispered, "He's gone." Yesterday was a official 1-month anniversary of the accident. I used to think that anniversaries only celebrated happy things, but now I realize that they're just a way of measuring time. After soccer practice was over, I didn't want to leave the field. I just wanted to stay behind and think about Mick. I know it sounds depressing, but it wasn't. I mean, Mick had a lot of great memories on that field. Right across the street, there are some noisy construction workers banging and busting up a new set of bleachers, setting them in concrete. It was almost dark when they finally left. And I still can't believe that they left that cement unguarded, especially in front of a junior high school. I mean, you've got to be nuts leaving unguarded cement, especially when there's an 8th grade girl sitting right across the street, and she's been watching you all night. She's already spotted a stick. I was totally calm when I did it. I just walked across the street, bent down, picked up the stick, then wrote the letters large, neat, and clear as can be. MickHarte. Mick Harte was here, and now he's gone. And for 12 years and 5 months, Mick was one of the neatest people you'd ever want to meet. And I just wanted to tell you, I just thought you ought to know. Alright, that's it. Again, that was Mick Harte Was Here by Barbara Park. And I bet you can find it on Google. I haven't checked, but you can give it a shot and try. I really like this piece because it's like such a nice piece to really let out your inner emotion. Because it's got that like trace of acting in it, and it's also got that trace of depth, and it's just like a beautiful piece, and I'm so honored to be having this piece. And how speech team works, I bet every high school has it. You just go to like a speech competition every week, every Saturday. Okay, you guys, it must sound like a bummer going to something Saturday morning, but it's really not. Like, if you really have, like, a love for acting, like I do, it's really fun. Like, you enjoy yourself. Like, how isn't it fun to compete, like, acting? Like, it's not like you're, like, running a race. It's really fun, and I totally advise all of you guys to do it. What I just did was dramatic interpretation, and that's kind of like drama with a bit of an emotional aspect to it. And yes, when I'm in competitions and I'm listening to the sad stories, I get pretty upset. I mean, like, these stories are about rape, abuse, committing suicide. It's just like, it's such a sad topic, but it's so amazing to, like, feel and get a reaction from people when you act. I mean, it's the most amazing thing to get a round of applause when you're done acting. So I totally advise you guys to do it. And that's pretty much all I have to say. If you guys like my acting, go ahead, try it too. I mean, it's really fun. You guys can just go on Google and type up some, like, random monologues. But usually, like, throughout the week, I'll be putting up, like, monologues of different plays, and these are all memorized. I wasn't reading any paper. This is all memorized stuff. And it's pretty easy to memorize when you put your heart to it. So, alright. Bye, you guys, and have a theatrical afternoon.